يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. ثم أما بعد. All praise is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We praise Him. We seek help and assistance from Him. Whomever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide, no one can misguide, and whomever He leads astray, no one can show guidance. Allahumma hdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. Oh Allah, show us guidance, show us the straight path, and make us follow and adopt this straight path, Ya Rabb al-Alameen. The best advice I give for myself and I share with everybody is the wasiyyah, the bequest or the advice or the order of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for everybody, for all the generation, is to be conscious, to have taqwa to Allah, to be conscious about the Creator, about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. نتفيأ معا ظلال هجرة الحبيب صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم ذاك الحدث الذي غير مجرى التاريخ. Not that many events that will leave a great effect or will be a cross, road or a crossing point for the past of history. Not that many. But one of those main events in the course of history is that Hadath al-Hijrah, the Hijrah, the immigration of the Prophet ﷺ from Mecca to Al-Madinah. نقف بعد 14 قرنا نستلهم العبر وندرس الآيات نأتي بالدروس حتى نتمثلها في حياتنا. After 1400 years, 14 centuries after this event, the Hijrah of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, here we are trying to get the lessons, trying to study that. This is the beginning or the changing point in Islam, which is the religion that came to free and liberate man. It is a religion carried by the Prophet ﷺ, who was sent as mercy for mankind, who came to liberate people from their own whims and desires. This is the message and the mission of Islam. And this is the turning point that made that change in the course of Islam. Here we are trying to get the lessons of Al-Hijrah. Hijrah ke sabaq. We try to get some lessons from that great event of Al-Hijrah. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وهكذا شأن كل عظيم لا يحصره وطن. لا ينبغي أن يحط الدعوة منبر ولا مكان ولا زمان. If somebody is carrying a great principle, he shouldn't be limited to certain context and certain time and certain people. If you are carrying goodness, you should not be carrying it only for the Panama City people. You should be for the truth, regardless of the receiver of that truth. It should be, if you are standing for justice, it should be for all. If you are carrying a great principle, you have to be ready to stand for it. And we Muslims, we know and we believe that we carry the principles of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the divine principles. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, it didn't work in Mecca, he did his best. But yet, he was directed to leave Mecca and go somewhere else. لم تفلح الأمور في مكة 13 سنة أو يزيد. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قرر الهجرة. لا يحده مكان ولا زمان. مع كون مكة من أحب البقاع والبلاد إليه. It was not easy for him or the Sahaba رضوان الله عليهم. It was not easy at all to leave the city that they grew up in. These are the same places they played in here, and they had to, they grow up, they smell this air, and they ate this food, and they grow up with those people. This is their place, their city, their country, their town. And it is not like any other city. Now, because their principle, the universal principle, المبدأ العالمي الذي يحملونه كان عليهم أن يتركوا كل هذا. They have to sacrifice all of that. وفي ليلة قرر أعداء الله وإذ يمكر بك الذين كفروا ليثبتوك أو يقتلوك أو يخرجوك. اجتمعوا في دار الندوة, those enemies of the Prophet ﷺ and enemies of Islam, and always, if you have haqq, you will have batil. If you have truth, you will have falsehood. ولولا دفع الله الناس بعضهم ببعض لفسدت الأرض. There will be always people standing for the truth, just like those people who are standing for the falsehood, and it's one of the universal rules of Allah that they will. Who will be in which party that you will join? When it comes to truth and falsehood, you should join either one of the two ways, because it's either Jannah or not. There's no third way. There is no third way. So you have to join the people of truth. If you do not do that, by default, you are with the people of al-batil. Especially in big cases like this, the case of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There were also some people who said, let's wait and see. If he wins, we join him. If he doesn't, then we are in the safe side. You will find always this group of people that history will not even mention them. We don't know their names. But we know that there were some people who took this approach. On the other hand, there were some people also who decided to follow Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam from day one. من اليوم الأول اتبعه من اتبع ومن اليوم الأول حاد عن طريقه وأبى وجحد ما جحد. One night they gathered together. وإذ يمكر بك الذين كفروا. They are plotting. They are meeting to decide ليثبتوك أو يقتلوك أو يخرجوك. To imprison him, to kill him, or to kick him out and expel him out from Mecca. But to where? Nobody knows. And why? What did he do? What did Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did to them? ماذا فعل لهم صلى الله عليه وسلم؟ هل أخذ أموالهم? Did he take their money? Is he competing with them in the leadership? They all whatever you want, we give you. He didn't compete with them in any of that. He came to liberate people. He came with the truth that tells the human being you are a human being, regardless of all of these things that you made. If he's a master, he's a slave, he should decide for you. This is not that he came to liberate people, but it was the same people who rejected him. It's understood when it comes from the leaders, because he is telling them many people, their interest will be in taking advantage of others. Their interest will be in oppressing others, taking advantage of the suffering of others. You can understand why they would oppose him. But the problem is with those that he came to liberate them. He is offering them freedom. He is telling them the religion that I'm bringing will make you equal to your masters. Yet they follow their masters, but they do not follow him. It's ridiculous. It's something, and up until nowadays, you see people calling other people for liberation, and they might join the people who are oppressing them. They would follow them. They would join them. But they would be always there. والله الناس بعضهم ببعض. يخرج النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم حصروا في بيته. They besieged him in his house. They came بسيوفهم مشرعة. ويقوم واحد قتله صلى الله عليه وسلم. ومن معه؟ لا أحد إلا الله عز وجل. أين الحراس؟ أين الحماية؟ أين معه ربه. He is the Lord صلى الله عليه وسلم in his house, and they elected every strong person from each qabila, each tribe, and they got their swords unleashed, waiting for him at the door. The minute he comes, we kill him. They still had some principles. Why didn't they break in his house? It was against the rules of this society to break in someone's house. It was against the norm of that society. They still had some remainings of akhlaq. لم يكن بين العرب إناء أن يقصروا على أحد بيته. لم يكن. وإن كان بينهم القتل أتوا لقتله، لكن تأبى طباعهم وأخلاقهم أن يدخلوا عليه بيته. ومن المسلمين من ينتهك حرمة مسلم آخر. ومن المسلمين في هذه الساعة من يهجرون من بيوتهم تحت شعارات الله أعلم بها، من بيوتهم ومن أرضهم، يقتلون ويهجرون ويذبحون بأيدي غيرهم من المسلمين والله المستعان. أبوا أن يدخلوا ووقفوا أمام بيته, in front of his house. They had the swords unleashed. ويسخر منهم قدر الله قبل أن يسخر منهم محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. The qadr, the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making fun of them before Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم would do it. وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فأغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون. We set, Allah said, we put and set a barrier from before them and from behind them, and we covered them so they will not be able to see. They can't see. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is walking in front of them. عيونهم مفتحة. Their eyes widely open. ولكن لا يبصرون. They can't see. يحدو على رؤوسهم التراب. The swords will fill of their hands. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam would take dust and put in their faces and their heads. And he would leave very safe. Very safe from right in front of them. وإذا العناية لاحظتك عيونها نم فالبقاء كلهن أمان. If you are protected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then don't worry. Whatever you go through is good for you. Only if you are with Allah. Like Muhammad عليه الصلاة والسلام. ومن قبل كان ما كان لأخيه وزميله وصاحبه موسى عليه السلام حين فر من فرعون هذا الظالم الطاغية, this oppressor Pharaoh who's in Egypt. And then Allah sent Musa alayhi salam. And Musa was coming with the same message. What is Musa telling Fir'aun? He is telling him nothing but freedom for people, truth for all, justice for everybody. And now I can understand that Fir'aun would say no to him. You are my enemy. But I can never understand those people that Musa alayhi salam is coming to liberate them. He is coming to tell them that no, he is not your God. He is a king, probably, but he is not your God. He is telling you, your God is Allah. You are equal to him. You are just, he is just a human being like you. He is coming to liberate them. When the magicians that Pharaoh himself brought to oppose him, when they saw the miracle and they come to understand the truth, they followed Musa alayhi salam, اتبعوا السحر حين أراهم الله الآية. ومع ذلك خرج تبع فرعون فاستخف قومه فأطاعوا. قال أصحاب السير تبعه 600,000. 600,000. That was the army of Fir'aun. Soldiers, regular people. Fir'aun was not giving them anything good. He was oppressing them and imprisoning them, yet they followed him. Against موسى عليه السلام الداعية الصادق المخلص. ربما يجادل في أي مصلح من مصلحي عصرنا، لكن هل يمكن أن يجادل مجادل في موسى عليه السلام وأنه جاء بالحق؟ هل يمكن أن يجادل مجادل في محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وأنه جاء بالحق؟ ومع ذلك وقف مع عدوه من جاء هو لينصره. The people that he himself, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam or Musa, came to liberate, they didn't want it. They stood with his enemy. 600,000 went out, set out Fir'aun against Musa ومن معه, the few people who accepted the right way with him. البحر من أمامهم وعدوهم من خلفهم. The sea is in front of them. They got all the way to Sinai before they get to Sinai. This is the sea in front of us and the enemy is behind us. قال أصحاب موسى إنا لمدركون. People, the friends of Musa, the people with Musa, they said إنا لمدركون. They got us. It's over. قال كلا إن معي ربي سيهدين. He said, no, nay, never. I have my Lord with me and he will protect me. Or he will guide me. Same like Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam. When Abu Bakr is telling him, Ya Rasulullah, they are there, they got all the way to Allah. Ya Rasulullah, لو نظر أحدهم تحت قدميه لأبصرنا. If one of them would just bend down and look a little bit, lower the level of his angle of looking, he would see us. What did he say? يا أبا بكر ما ظنك باثنين الله ثالثهما لا تحزن إن الله معنا. Abu Bakr, what do you think of two? The third of them is Allah. It looks like a small team, a team of three, only three. But the third one is the main factor. This is Allah. You have Allah in your team. So what do you think about that? Is that going to be a losing team? No. لا تحزن. Never be sad. إن الله معنا. Indeed, Allah is with us. And that's what Musa alayhi salam said when he said, Inna ma'i Rabbi, indeed, my Lord is with me. Said, he will guide me. The guidance came to Fir'aun, to Musa alayhi salam, نضرب بعصاك البحر, جاءه الفرج من Allah, hit the sea with your stick. He would do it, the sea will split open, the believers will get through the ocean, and subhanallah, أهل الضلال أغبياء حمقى لا يرون حتى ما فيه هلاكهم. It's so clear for them right now. People of the falsehood, it's so clear, okay. didn't go this time. They shouldn't risk you or put their life at risk. They should risk their lives by getting into the ocean that's open. How could the ocean split open for someone unless he has some miracle, you know? You should be, okay, leave him. Even if you don't want to follow him, but leave him. No, they didn't see. فَأَغْشَيْنَاهُمْ فَهُمْ لَا يُبْصِرُونَ. As Allah did with the enemies of Muhammad, He said, we covered them. They can't see. Those people probably are the same. They had the same. They were not able to see. Allah split the ocean open for Musa. فتح الله له البحر فكيف أيها الغبي تسير خلفه إن لم تفهم أنه على الحق. دخل الطين والماء في فمه وحينها فقط أدرك. Only when he was drowning and the mud got into his mouth and he was drowning, قال آمنت فأتبعه الله بالآية قال الآن. Now he said, I believe. Allah told him, now, too late. Now you believe, it's too late. That's what happened with Musa alayhi salam, and that's what happened with Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. الدرس الأول من الهجرة التوكل على الله. Let's put our trust in Allah. لا ولا حامل ولا رازق إلا الله. Nobody to suffice you except Allah. Nobody to give you security except Allah. Nobody to show you guidance except Allah. If you have Allah with you, then it doesn't matter who else is against you. It does not matter. We are humans nowadays. If you are threatening, if something has to do with our job or risk or something, لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. When Islam or La ilaha illallah or Muslims or the truth that came from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is being threatened, nobody cares. No, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was ready to challenge the entire world. Was ready to challenge them with the truth. Wallahi la wada ash-shamsa fi yamini. If they put the sun in my right, the moon in my left, so that I abandon this principle that that Allah sent me to give to people, which is deen ala an atruka hadha deen, I would never do it. I'm ready to put my life in risk, even whatever it takes to support that. Now we are not asking to go to that extreme or anything. All we are asked to do is to support Azzaruhu wa Nasaruhu, to support Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How to support Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? This very religion of justice and peace and freedom and liberation that he brought for all, we need to stand for it. We need to implement it in our life. It doesn't take what it takes. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when it took him and his friends and his companion, in my life and your life, maybe the test is harder in the life of other people. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala يخفف ألم المسلمين. But it's easy. It's easy. على من يسره الله كيف تهاجر. How should we make hijrah? المهاجر من هجر ما نهى الله عنه. You don't have to go to Medina. There is no hijrah to Medina anymore. بعد الفتح, after Mecca becomes a place of Islam. But you still can do hijrah from bad to good, from following falsehood to following the truth, from any impurity in your life to any purity that you can do. You can do it. It will take a great deal of a struggle, but you can do just like Muhammad struggled. He had family. He was a human being. Abu Bakr was a human being. They had families. They were making money. They had to make money, and they had everything like you. But then somebody like Abu Bakr, he put himself, his family, his children, his kids, everybody, even his servant, at the service of Islam, at the service of the truth. He was with the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He prepared 2 camels, one for him, one for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His daughter Asma radiallahu anha was giving them, providing them the food, getting the food all the way to غار ثور, تأتيهم بالطعام. غار ثور جبل يعني صخري صعب أن يصعده حتى يوم الشداد من الرجال فما بالك من امرأة. What do you think about a little woman? And she was pregnant, كانت حامل. She got them this food and she had to go to cover all of this distance, and she had to climb this spiky mountain, Ghataw, to give the food, to be part of that great event of Al-Hijrah, to support food to the Prophet ﷺ and her father, and give them the news as well. Everybody has his role. تعاون مطلق بين أفراد الأمة. 'Ummah. There was a great cooperation between the different members of the Ummah. 'Ummah. 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 ' behind one principle, which is the truth, which is Islam, which is established in the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's probably what we need nowadays, is to cooperate, is to work together. As we share La ilaha illallah, and we share so many things, we have to work together as Muslims and get united, so that we'll be successful. We need to plan for things like the Prophet ﷺ planned for the Hijrah. We need to work together to achieve whatever plan that we have. That is something that was so clear in the life of the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, in the Hijrah of the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. We need to cooperate with everybody on truth and goodness, with Muslims and with non-Muslims. Whatever truth is in there, let's be all behind it. One way to do it, probably an important event coming on the 4th of November, this coming week on Tuesday, is the election day. Election for the different federal offices. We need to look at those people and who we think that will be doing good to that community in here. And then your vote will definitely count. Do not just think of yourself as someone who does not have a say. You have a say and you should have a say. Go and use this power towards what you think is the truth. Another thing that I suggest to you, or I actually urge you and recommend you to do, is to be positive as far as the event that's coming, inshallah, on November 8th, which is the open house, and I will give you the details right after Jalsatul Istiraha, after this hold, inshallah. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم واستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين الآثمين، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله رب العالمين، وأشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا محمد عبده ورسوله الأمين. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. So if we want to make hijrah, muhajir man hajara ma naha Allah anhu, let's stay away from what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forbids. That's the hadith. The true muhajir, the true person who's making immigration, is the person who abandons and leaves what Allah forbids. It's going to be a struggle, a lifelong struggle to go away from the campus of shaitan, because shaitan is calling you for ma'siyah. The minute you do ma'siyah, you are highlighting the order of shaitan. And the minute you make tawbah or come back the other way, you are getting and fleeing the Allah through the campus or the side of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a lifelong struggle, but let's take it. Like the Prophet ﷺ took that and made all of these sacrifices for the sake of the principle, of his principle, Deen, Tawheed, Nashr la ilaha illallah. We got to do that. One way to do that is to be positive in the community you live in. In the community you live in, just like all these Sahaba who spread around. They lived with him, sallallahu they supported him and everything. Now he passed away, Allah will take care of, spreading Islam. No. You will see many of their graves, actually, majority of the graves of the Sahaba will be in Syria and Egypt, all the way to even India and some of these, far away places in the world. Why? They would go and spread on earth to spread the truth, to spread the da'wah, the mission of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to carry this truth for everybody. Now, we have this event that's coming, inshallah, on November the 8th, this coming Saturday, not tomorrow, the other Saturday, the next Saturday, and it's going to be in the masjid where it's an annual event. We invite people, our neighbors. We invite we invite the co-workers. We invite everybody that we know to tell them that Islam that we believe in is such and such. That we come here and pray. That we work like a community. That we have professional and normal people and workers. And we live here, and we share destiny, and we are neighbors. Whatever is affecting you is affecting us, but it is not. Islam is not ISIS. Islam is not what CNN and Fox News and other news stations are telling you. When you see me dressing like that, oh, you know that I'm your neighbor, and this is the way I choose for myself to dress. Just like you choose to dress whatever you dress for yourself. And we are here together. And we invite you to come over and have whatever idea you want to have about Islam, but you have the right to know that Islam is not what other people are telling you, what those people in there are telling you. Maybe this is Islam for them, but you deserve to know that this is the perspective of 12,000 people. That's the number of ISIS people. What about the rest of Muslims? The lowest, the statistics would say it's 1.5 billion. What about those? They live in America and Canada and Latin America, and they live in the East and West. They live in the Middle East and Japan and everywhere. What do they do? This is what we do. We fast. We are part of we give contribution in wherever we are, just like normal people. We have our challenges and we have our successes, and we are just like normal people. We might have crazy people, just like any other community. But the crazy people do not have the right to, make you judge the rest of the community, which is greater, much greater in number. And if you want to judge Islam, if you want to know what Islam is, then Islam is what's in the Quran, without any ayah taken from out of context or anything. If you want to know Muslims, then come and visit Muslims. So this is the message that we're trying to share with them, trying to start some connections with them, build, some bridges, and start some relationship with our neighbors. They have this right on us, and it's a duty on us to give them da'wah. You give da'wah to others, not necessarily to make them become Muslim. Hopefully they become Muslim, but this is not in our hand. It's in the hand of Allah. Yahdi man yasha. We only give da'wah. We only give salam. Convey the message to them, and it's for our benefit as well. It's for the akhirah, the best thing that anyone can do. وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ قَوْلًا مِمَّنْ دَعَا إِلَى اللَّهِ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا وَقَالَ إِنَّنِي مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. And it's also for our best. So when they see your sister, my wife, your wife out there with the hijab, when they see you, when they see me, when they know we are Muslims, they will not give us this nasty look and this disgusting, feeling coming to the back of their mind. So we have to work to change this thing in here. This, image of them about Islam, we need to work towards this, inshallah. What I am humbly asking you, ayyuhal ikhwa wal akhawat, is to just publicize it, because if we make this event, and we have been working on it, this community, Allah knows, they have been working so diligently and so seriously on it for the past couple of months, maybe more. Almost a week, every meeting every week, and they have been putting a lot of effort into it. Without spreading the word and inviting people to come, then probably it would be useless. We'll be talking to each other. So we need to invite them, and when we invite them, just use those same words. We are not inviting them to our seminary, mosque, just a place of worship. We are inviting them to our community to share some things with them, to answer some questions, to build some relationship, to build, some bridges in there between us and them. It's one community. We live in this community. We're trying to educate them. We're trying to answer their questions. So this is what we are trying to spread that. Take some flyers out there. Whatever flyer that you take, please make sure that you spread it. We spent money on that. And more importantly, the last annual open house that we did, majority of the people, when we got the feedback and we were analyzing it, the majority of those who attended, it was a word of mouth. It was mainly because somebody told them. So let's talk about that, inshallah. Invite you. That's all you have to do. Invite them to come in here. Wallahi, we need it right now. We need it right now in the middle of what's happening. We need to tell people that, hey, we are here. They have been here for X number of years, and we have those, and they have the right to know us, and we have the right to tell them the truth about Islam. So Allah wa ta'ala yuwajjihna wa iyyakum bi kulli khayr. Another reminder, inshallah, another important event coming this week is Yawm Ashura, the 10th of Al-Muharram. It will come on Monday. Yawm Ashura, Yawm al-Ithnain, this coming Monday. And it's the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to fast on that day. If you can fast a day before it, if you can fast on Sunday as well, along with Monday, it will be good. But if not, you don't want to miss Monday. You don't want this coming Monday, because the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam promised that the reward of it will be enough to wipe out the sins of the previous years. All the sins of the previous years, inshallah, if you fast on that day, according to the hadith, will be forgiven. And again, it shows this solidarity between Muhammad and Musa alayhi salam. And that day Allah rescued Musa from his enemy. And Nabi sallallahu, when he come to know that, he said, نحن أحق بموسى منه. We have more right to Musa than you Jews. We will respect that day, and the way we respect it is we fast on it, inshallah. So Allah تبارك وتعالى أن يوجهنا وإياكم بكل خير وأن يعلمنا ما ينفعنا وأن يغفر لنا ذنوبنا. May Allah forgive our sins. May Allah bring us together and make us strong community. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us people who stand for the truth, people who stand for Islam, people who spread goodness and justice amongst people. So Allah تبارك وتعالى أن يهدينا الصراط المستقيم. May Allah guide us the straight path. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على سيدنا نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
استقيموا استووا. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله 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 أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. يا الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله الله الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة
So this is a few very quick announcements. If you're not getting any of the community emails, make sure that you go to the website, BCIS.com. It's usually updated and it will let you know what's going on and show up all. There's a ping pong tournament. There's a ping pong tournament for the youth tomorrow, Saturday, November 1st. Please contact Ahmed for more information. Also, there's an event with IUI.